So you see, drug users now in California are organizing, they're forming a union, and they want to be taken serious. They want various experiments to be recognized and perhaps to make to decriminalize drugs, culture, and so forth. And I'm saying, like, I don't understand what they're trying. I mean, societies are such that, and especially the British system, we know very early that you need to follow the laws. You need to walk in the middle of the road and don't get knocked off, or else it's over. I recall some young girls were on the path to going to Oxford, London, and Cambridge. They were about 13, 14. One was attending school with me. I liked her, but she went on to the school, and when they go to the school, they don't even talk to you again. They don't even want to see the passing straight and so on. But she and her friends decided, for some reason, to go like 100 miles away. They just took off, and it's alleged that they were seen with some guys previously and so on. And that was the end of them. I mean, just that, it was over. In our cultures also, if you don't have children, again, it's over, because there's no kind of kindergarten school or no nursery around, and sometimes you wonder if somebody has gone and have kids, whether they would be a good student or smart, whatever. You know what I mean? Like, you're supposed to think, and you're supposed to understand your actions going to affect you and so forth. And what I find is that young people now are seeing puberty real fast. It means that they are avoiding some of the innocent experiences that are essential for the future, but they don't have time to learn that now. They have to go straight to adulthood. Mama is feeding the baby, all this, taking this great part of your life away. Whereas if they were like, avoiding stuff like that, they would have been able to, learn those things that are important. She has to start cooking and so forth. She should be able to cook and get a job and all that stuff, whereas she might not have even started to learn how to cook as yet. You see what I'm saying? And so, you make choices, and when people have made choices about drugs and so forth, and it has hurt their brain, and around Puerto Rico and around the country, you see people that are old and they go in and they have methadone, and you see them high on heroin, and the way they're behaving and so on. They behave as if they don't have kind of sense when they're on this thing. So, why did one choose a path like that when others have already started and you see the results? And faulty thinking is a problem. So when they're going to try to evoke the American with Disability Act and say, man, I have a disability and I need help and whatever, life is too short, and you have positions out there that are so critical that you just can't take chances with people who have a suspect kind of disability or incapacity that they have acquired, for themselves. If you got born with problems, you could understand. But when a person acquires it, it's awesome. They're done. And you see, today now you're putting them in significant positions to go on medication, and they get help on here and there and so forth. They become a teacher, and then they can't think straight, and they figure like, oh, this little child, I think this is an adult, and I'm gonna have some sex with this child. They're doing some stuff that you're just wondering, And apart from that, they might be in higher positions. They might be president of some important sector in the economy, perhaps some stock market, maybe a great financial institution, maybe another part of government that is responsible for safety or something, man. And you put them in there, they're going to give you a problem, because when you think he's looking for the job, he's on the phone or on the internet or wasting time. So things are happening, and by the time he catches himself, it's over. It's some serious, irreparable, and uncorrectable mistakes have already been made. Now, so they're trying to unionize now to give them some power. But I don't know if you could equate this to black people, where even though black people organize and got unions and all that, still they don't get nowhere in life, because folks are going to ensure that they get nowhere. Not that you're going to ensure that these people don't go anywhere, but you just can't let them come and change the culture and give us new rules that to accommodate them, when basically, we just can't accommodate everybody. There are limited opportunities, and the opportunities are people who have grasped all the available resources and are prepared for those responsibilities. So if they're going to squander this and they want to come back still and be valid, I mean, I've seen around the country, especially like in Georgia, where some guys who were bikers, serious criminals, decide that we're tired of this thing, we're going to be ministers, we're going to go into ministry and so we're going to have church. I mean, it's like, no man, just go and, go to school and get a life and get married and start doing the right thing. You should be doing the right thing anyway, because they know our ministers. Now, this is a very important aspect of the culture, religion. And they don't have no experience in that. They don't have no education in it. So what are they going to be doing? They're going to be handing out food, clothing, a lot of sweet talk, making religion look as if it's so easy and so forth, because they don't know what they're doing and they don't have no experience. And while society might say, okay, well, we don't have to worry about it no more, they're not doing drugs and crime and so forth, at least we know that, in church and so forth, they're harming people who might significantly rely on them for some religious guidance and help. Alright? They're going to make it appear as if, oh man, this is so easy. But you see, it was easy because they got help simply because people were afraid of the type of things they were doing and accepted them now, and they're going on and you think that's the way it is. And in fact, some young people, okay, I've been to churches where the minister had been one of these losers. And when he's preaching, the time that he's smiling and happiest is when he's discussing his past. You see, man, my specialty was like B and E, break and enter. And he liked heroin. And it's like, you could see him smiling. Now, when you have your innocent children there, and you hear this guy talking like that, I used to do all these things, but thank God I'm saved, and now he's making the money, he got a nice ring, he got a nice car, nice wife, nice house, nice life, we paying him, and some of these kids might feel like, oh boy, shucks, I have these challenges, but man, I could succumb to it and go through it, and then I would be able to come back one day and do yeoman work like my pastor here. But if he had known that this pastor is so incompetent and so ineffective, but as a child he doesn't know. Because education is so important, not only in theology, but they go into counseling. They need to understand psychology and sociology to counsel people. They're talking in terms of some stuff that are unscientific. Like, I had this gallstone, and I prayed to God, and I coughed it up. Stupid stuff. It's like you're saying, like, what? But I'm sure I might feel like, oh boy, that's so nice. And I'm going off with some mistaken ideas. So I do hope that these unions basically going to tell young people, look, we have failed, and we don't want you failing like us. And even though we can get some help and come back, we can't do what we would have been able to do hadn't we gone this path. So again, we're saying, don't go this path. But I guess it's going to be a way of giving them some voice. But the folks in San Francisco saying that it's okay, it's organized. We might be able to help them out here and there, but we just can't. We can't say here that we go everything that they say, So, I don't know. People are coming up with a variety of things, but I mean, these stopgap things and these things that are a second spring or Indian summer or whatever. The best thing to do is to avoid these kind of pitfalls. And this is, I think, what's the important thing in life, to learn, avoid certain pitfalls.